healthy and safe and grounded during this period. Today, I wanted to give an update on our efforts to help in the response against COVID. And then I want to discuss some new product updates as part of our efforts to help all of you stay connected with all the people that you care about, even during this period where we can't be together in person. This is a new format, obviously doing this over live for discussing new products for us. I guess, we're in a period now where we're all trying new ways of doing things. And I just thought that it was important during this period for you to all hear directly from me. So today, I wanted to start off by discussing some of the things that we're doing to help respond to COVID and just what we've seen across our services. So first, we know that people rely on social apps to stay connected to the people they care about. And that's especially true in times of crisis or in times where we're not together with the people that we care about in person. And right now, of course, both of those are the case. So we're seeing very elevated levels of use across our products broadly. And in a bit, I'm going to talk about some of the new things that we're building to help make sure that you can stay connected to the people you care about through our products. But so far, it's just been also a large effort just to keep the servers running to make sure that these services that people rely on can be delivered smoothly. Now, second, one of the top priorities during this period is making sure that we can help spread and deliver authoritative health information, and that we can limit the spread of misinformation about health information in the pandemic. And there are a number of steps that we've taken here that I want to go through. One of the most important is we've created a COVID-19 information center that features authoritative health information from governments, health officials, doctors, different community leaders, and different resources. And we've put this at the top of the Facebook app. So more than 2 billion people have seen a link to this. It has been clicked on, and there have been more than 1 billion page views of this, of people who have gone and checked out the content so far. We've also partnered with governments and health officials to help get the word out in effective ways to encourage people to stay home during this period, to stay safe and keep their communities safe, including partnering on building things like chatbots across the world with different governments to reach people through WhatsApp and Messenger. When it comes to fighting misinformation, we're really focused on two different things. The most severe is there is a group of misinformation that we call harmful misinformation, and that is misinformation specifically that can lead to an imminent risk of physical harm. So that's the type of thing where there were hoaxes that have been spreading online for weeks, saying if you drink bleach, then that can help cure the coronavirus. And of course it can't, that's false. And if you drink bleach, you can put yourself in serious danger. So we go ahead and we take that content down. There have been thousands of examples of content like that we've had to take down during this period. The other category here is more of what you'd call regular misinformation. It's not necessarily going to lead to an imminent risk of physical harm, but it's not the kind of stuff that we want spreading widely through the network. And there, we partner with independent fact checkers, and these independent fact checkers have rated more than 4,000 different articles as false during this period, which has led to more than 40 million warning labels showing up as people browse different content across our services. And we know that these labels are effective because 95% of the time when people see content that has a label saying a fact checker has said that this might be false, people don't then click through to the content. So that's a lot of effort on making sure that we can help surface authoritative information and stop the spread of misinformation. The third category of the work is on assisting in the public health response. And here, probably the most helpful thing that we can do is use aggregate data from the community across our apps to help inform key decisions that governments and public health officials need to make, especially on allocating scarce medical resources like PPE and ventilators, and eventually as we get ready to reopen, to help them determine which areas it will be safe to start opening the faucet and opening up again in. And of course, unfortunately, if there ends up being resurgences of the virus, we can use aggregate data to help public health officials determine when we might need to do some kind of lockdown again. So here we've done a number of efforts. One of the biggest is we partnered with Carnegie Mellon University to run widespread symptom surveys to our community, asking people what symptoms they're seeing and feeling in themselves. So that's, are you experiencing a fever, a cough, shortness of breath? Have you lost your sense of smell? And by running these surveys, we've been able to produce a daily county by county map of the prevalence of certain symptoms across the country, and soon that'll be across the world too. And that's valuable for these folks who are making these decisions, because people starting to experience symptoms, of course, is a precursor to going to the hospital, feeling like you need to get tested, or getting more seriously ill. So there are a number of things like that we can do. In addition to the symptom maps, we've worked on mobility maps for researchers and health officials to understand how people are moving around and how effective their policies have been. We've worked on AI forecasting tools to help hospitals and governments forecast the needs for PPE. And on the personal side, through our work at the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, we've also been pretty active in the health response as well, funding efforts to accelerate the development of therapeutics and drugs that can help to treat COVID. We took the BioHub, which is a medical research institute that we helped to create a few years back, that's doing some great scientific research, but we repurposed a lot of the tooling and technology that they have to turn it into a major part of the Bay Area's testing capacity. It's now capable of running thousands of tests a day. And of course, we're doing a number of things to help support health workers who are on the front lines as well, who are the real heroes during this, but need all of our support. The fourth area is part of the response is we're working on supporting folks through the economic recovery, and that's especially the case for small businesses. So we launched a $100 million grants program for small businesses. We also launched a $100 million program to support journalism, especially local journalism. We've done a bunch of work to help connect small businesses with the government stimulus, because we're probably one of the only institutions in the world that both knows a lot of who the small business owners are around the country and around the world, and also has a distribution channel to be able to put a message in front of them. So for a lot of you, if you own a small business, you might have seen a module show up at the top of newsfeed that basically gives you information on how you can apply for and get some of the stimulus funds which are being provided by the government. And that's obviously going to be important for helping people get through this period. And we're also working on a number of tools to help people do things like buy gift cards to support small businesses that they care about in their community through this period. The last area that I want to talk about as part of our initial COVID response is around taking care of our employees and our local community. We were among the first companies to require that almost all of our employees work from home. We were the first, or among the first companies, tech companies, to cancel our big annual conference, F8, which is part of the reason why we're doing this online today. We enabled all of our contractors to make sure that they could work from home. And we guaranteed their pay even if they couldn't productively do their jobs at home. And then recently we told our employees the vast majority of them should expect not to go back to the offices until at least June, but likely longer. in order to give right of way to other folks in our local communities who need to use those shared resources first, who need to be able to go back and physically do their jobs out of their homes in order to support their jobs and livelihoods. Those folks should be able to get back to work as part of the staggered reopening plan first. And of course, we've canceled all large events that we're doing, bigger than 50 people, through the first half of next year, 2021. So I hope this live stream thing works, because I have a feeling that we're going to be doing it this way for a while. And just one more note on this is that I would encourage all businesses and business leaders who are in a similar position to where we are, where the vast majority of your employees can, if they can work productively from home, I would encourage you to consider similar policies for your workforce, and similarly trying to give right of way as the staggered reopening happens to other folks in your community who really need to be able to get back to work physically for their livelihoods. I think the reality is that we're going to be dealing with this for quite some time to come. There is a lot more that I think we're going to be able to do to help out, especially through the services that we build, and especially helping people stay connected to the people they care about while we're all remote, and also on the side of helping small businesses during the recovery, not just today, but in the months ahead as this unfolds. We have a lot of work streams underway, and I'm looking forward to being able to share more of that with you over the coming weeks as it becomes ready to share. But today, I want to focus specifically on the work that we're doing to help people stay connected during this period where we're almost all remote. At Facebook, we think about a lot of our work is building social infrastructure to help bring people closer together, even when you can't be together with the people that you care about in person. And this work, it ranges from asynchronous type of sharing, right? So you take a photo of your family, you put it up on Facebook or Instagram. Your friends check it out later when they're back at their open up their phone or computer. And it ranges from that to really immersive experiences like virtual reality, where you feel like you're physically present in the same place as another person, even if in reality you're halfway across the world. You can play ping pong with someone as if you're just a few feet away, but in reality be in a completely different country or different time zone. So our whole company is geared towards building this kind of social infrastructure, ranging across this whole spectrum, and focused on trying to help bring people together. And today I want to focus on one part of this, which has emerged as especially important during this pandemic, and that is video presence. Right, so that's the ability to feel like you're directly connected with someone live over video. And there are a lot of different uses for video presence. There are professional uses, which is a lot of what we've focused on and come to rely on during this period. But in a lot of ways, there are even more social uses of this, just for people to stay connected. And then there are a lot of different products that need to get built, because the use cases are sometimes subtly and sometimes not so subtly different in ways that require different products in order to really optimize and enable people to do what they want. So at Facebook, what we've seen is the three major product categories within video presence that have emerged are: one is video calling, two is video rooms, and three is live video. And what we're seeing is that these are all related, but they're also distinct product categories that call for their own products to really deliver on the value that people are seeking to get well. So, for one, video calling, that's when you call someone and their phone or computer actually rings. This is actually the most used type of video presence around the world. It tends to be ideal for one-on-one type of calls, although you can use it for small groups or even larger groups too, if you want to ring everyone's phone or computer, and it tends to be the best for ad hoc or kind of one-on-one or small group interactions because it's the lightest way to reach out to someone. Even if you didn't have something scheduled in advance, you can reach out to someone. It rings their phone, it gets their attention, and you can start a call that way. Now, video rooms is where you create a link and send it out to people, and then they can go ahead and join your video chat. And now this is a newer model that's been popularized by enterprise video conferencing tools, and it's especially helpful for coordinating with large groups. And it makes it so that it's easy for anyone to join from the web, because you pass on a link and people can click on it and join from the web, even if they don't have particular video conferencing apps or services installed on their phone or computer. Live video is for a person or multiple people to broadcast what they're doing, so that way people can watch them and interact with them in real time. And of these different categories, the fewest people on a day-to-day basis are producing live videos, but the most people are watching and engaging with them. So at Facebook, as a company, we're sort of unique in that after today, our services are going to span and cover this entire spectrum. We already have leading, if not the leading, video calling and live video services. And I think we're soon going to have the leading video rooms product for social use cases as well. So I'm going to go through each of these product categories and talk a little bit about what we're doing to help deliver the experiences that people have told us that they need during this period. So the first is video calling. Between WhatsApp and Messenger, there are more than 700 million daily actives participating in calls daily. So in many countries, what we've seen is that the number of calls has doubled during this period since the COVID outbreak began. And for some specific categories, like group video chat, in some areas we've seen the number of calls go up by as much as 10x or more. So this has emerged as just an incredibly important way that people are relying on to stay connected to the people that they care about right now. In addition to these software services, Portal is a hardware product that we designed exactly for a use case like this. It's for social video presence when you're at home. And during this period, we've seen a lot of increase in demand for Portal. Sales of Portal devices have grown by more than 10x. And we're working as hard as we possibly can to make more of them for all of you who are trying to get your hands on one of them during this period. Now I want to get to some of the new things that we're shipping. So on WhatsApp, one improvement that we're making is we're going to double the number of people who can participate in a group call from 4 to 8. And this is going to launch next week. And this is especially valuable and important because WhatsApp is the only end-to-end encrypted calling and video calling service, which is both at immense scale around the globe and is available across both of the major mobile platforms. So, if you care about security and if you want end-to-end encryption, you're probably using WhatsApp. So having the ability to have your calls not limited to 4 people, but now include 8 is a big deal during this period, and one that we've gotten a lot of requests for, and we're glad to be rolling out. On Messenger, we've been very focused on launching new AI-powered effects and tools to make the experience better and also more fun. So it's things like 360-degree immersive virtual backgrounds. Virtual backgrounds have have obviously gotten popular recently on Zoom and other video conferencing services, but 360 takes it to a whole nother level, because now instead of just having a static background, as you move around, if you hold your phone, basically the background will move and maintain perspective, so it'll really feel like you're in a house or in a in a jungle or in whatever place the immersive virtual background is, and it's a pretty neat experience. We're also focused on launching more AR effects around things like birthdays and activities like camping, and we're launching AI-powered mood lighting. So the theme here is that we are using AI to make your video presence both more effective and also just more fun and enjoyable while we're all during this period. Having some more fun is a big deal. For Messenger Kids, we launched this back in 2017 to give kids a fun and safer way to message their friends and family, and to give parents control over the experience and who their kids can message. And since the COVID outbreak began, and a lot of our children are all now at home rather than at school, we've seen Messenger Kids grow in use to more than 7 million actives, up more than 3.5x during this period. And we recently announced that we're expanding it to more than 70 different countries and territories around the world. We're also launching an integration between Messenger and Facebook dating that we're calling virtual dates. And the idea here is that you can invite your matches to video chats in order to start getting to know them, even though you can't physically really go out together right now. And this is all done in a privacy protective way, where the other person, they don't see your last name, and you have to choose to accept a new invite to connect with them again afterwards, if you want to keep the conversation going through Facebook dating. So one theme that I think we're starting to see through all of this is that video presence isn't just about calling someone, right? It's starting to be a fundamental building block of a private social platform with lots of different use cases that can either be integrated into it or that it can be integrated into. The basic video presence technology is often very similar across these different use cases, but the product experiences can be quite different, depending whether it's for dating or for kids, or for secure use cases where you really want encryption, or if you want to plug in different kinds of AI-powered tools to make it more fun. So I think we're going to start to see this theme of having a shared video presence technology, but have the product experience vary dramatically by how it's integrated into different products. We're going to start to see this more as we move into the next category as well. All right. So now let's move on to video rooms. The major difference between video calling and video rooms is that with video calling, you're actually calling someone or multiple people and ringing their phone. With video rooms, you set up a room and invite people to join ahead of time, usually by sending around a link. And until now, across our products, we've really focused on video calling. But today, we're going to discuss a new product that we've been building called Messenger Rooms. And the basic idea with Messenger Rooms is that you should be able to create a room for any activity or any event that you want to hold. You should be able to just send people a link, and then they should be able to drop by and hang out with you over video presence. And you should be able to invite anyone you want to your room, even if they don't have a Facebook account. So we want to make it work in WhatsApp and Instagram, and we also want to make it work for people who don't have accounts with any of our services. It's incredibly easy. You just send a link, and that's it. People can click on the link and join. But one of the things that's possible with Messenger Rooms that is going to make it a completely different experience from any of the other video presence services out there is that you don't need to schedule time up front like you typically need to for a meeting at work with more typical enterprise video conferencing services. You can create a room, you can open it to all of your friends or all of the people in one of your groups or communities if you want. And then we're going to put a tray at the top of your newsfeed of all of the active rooms that your friends or that people that you want to interact with in your groups are currently participating in, and you can just drop in. Or your friends can drop into your room, and you can quickly and casually catch up. So while we've been building this out, I have to say I've really enjoyed testing this because a lot of what I've done is I've left a window open on my screen for a room, and I've either had people drop by to say hi who are people I like and care about, but wouldn't have necessarily thought to go call directly myself. But a lot of them were people who I would have used to have seen walking around the office or at social events. So I missed them and was really happy when they dropped in. The other thing I've seen is there are times when my close friends will a bunch of them will just drop into a room at the same time, and that'll just be this neat serendipitous and spontaneous interaction where maybe I've checked in on them or been to some kind of virtual events with them during this COVID period, but having a spontaneous interaction with different subsets of your friends that wouldn't normally happen otherwise. It's been just a really fun experience so far, and I'm looking forward to more of you being able to experience this soon. So, as part of this, we're making it very easy to get the people that you want into a room, but we also know it's really important to make sure that annoying people or problematic people don't join, right? Because I do think the reality is that everyone has a random uncle or someone who's your friend, technically your friend, but you're not exactly looking to have them drop in and hang out with you right now. So we've designed this in from the beginning. You can make a private room where people can only join if they have the link directly, and you can text specific people the link through Messenger, or you can share it over WhatsApp with a group thread if you want to engage a group. Or you can make a room where you make it all open to all of your friends or people in a group. But even if you do that, even if you make it open to all of your friends, we're still actually on the back end just going to start off by showing it to the subset of people that you actually interact with on our services, or who you've shown some interest in potentially interacting with over time. So that way, we make sure that maybe that person who you added as a friend or you followed a few years back, but you don't really know them that well, and wouldn't want to hear that from them. That's not the person who's dropping into your room. And dialing this and making the experience work has been a really important part of testing this and getting this to be a good experience. And of course, in addition to all that, we're also we've built all the standard privacy and security features that you would want to have. You can kick someone out of a room at any time. You can lock a room to prevent any kind of new people who are joining. We've really built this service with privacy and security in mind from the beginning. And it's an important part of our private social platform vision. And we've been very careful to try to learn the lessons of how we've seen other people trying to misuse different other video conference and video presence tools during this period. So now, in addition to the spontaneous interactions that you can have, you can also schedule rooms for planned events if you'd like. In the room's creation flow, you're going to be able to set a time for the room to start. The default is going to be now, but if you want, you can set it at some point in the future, and then we'll notify the people who you've invited about the room a few minutes before it's set to open, so that way they can all come and you can all hang out together. We've also integrated rooms with Facebook events, right? Since almost no one is planning physical events right now. We've basically pivoted the Facebook events team to work on helping you plan online events instead. And the final note that I want to say about Messenger Rooms is that this is going to be launching across all of our apps as well as across Portal. The rooms themselves will be natively hosted in Messenger. So if you have the Messenger app, that'll be the best experience. But you're going to be able to create and invite people to rooms across all of our apps, in WhatsApp, in Instagram, and Facebook. And if someone doesn't have Messenger, then if they get a link, they're just going to be able to tap on that and join from a browser or from mobile web, and that'll be a great experience too. So we actually have already begun rolling this out and testing this in a couple of places so far, and I'm looking forward to rolling it out more over the coming weeks and getting it in more of your hands. So that is Messenger Rooms. The last category that I want to talk about today is live video. And compared to video calling and video rooms, live video is mostly used for broadcasting to groups of friends, groups in a community, or potentially larger public audiences like what we're doing here today. And every day across Facebook and Instagram, there are more than 800 million daily actives that engage with live video. So, these three use cases, they do overlap. So for example, sometimes you want to do a video call or you want to set up a video room and then you want to go live from there. And we already have a feature called Live With on Instagram, which lets two people basically go live from a video chat that they're having together. And today, we're bringing that feature back to Facebook too, launching Live With soon as part of Facebook Live. And of course, during this period where we're sheltering in place, a lot of lives that would have historically just been two people getting together in person now are happening with Live With. So this is something that a lot of people have asked for during this period. Now, before COVID, the outbreak began, we saw many people use Live to stream large physical events. But now what we're seeing is that a lot of these events are happening primarily online. And whether that's the Pope holding virtual mass on Facebook Live or DJs hosting dance parties on Instagram Live, we're just seeing people around the world starting to use live video presence as the primary part of their events that they're holding. So as I mentioned a couple minutes ago, to make this easier, we've pivoted the Facebook events team to build tools to help people create Facebook events for online events that you want to hold. And if they're larger public events, then we're going to help you set up a live stream and organize a large public event around it. If what you're trying to do is organize a smaller private event, then we're going to help you set up a messenger room and organize a smaller event around that. Importantly, we're also going to make it so that you can charge a fee for people to attend your event. And we think that that's important to help people build businesses during this period. Whether what you're trying to do is an online performance or teach a class or hold some kind of professional conference, our hope is that by making it so that you can charge a fee, we hope that this is going to help support creators and small businesses that rely on in-person services. We hope to support them a bit more during this period. Now, last but not least, we are going to be bringing Instagram Live to desktop web. So you're going to be able to watch Instagram Lives on your computer. And this is important during this period because what we're seeing is that while we're all at home, by definition we're not mobile, right? So we're still using our phones, but we're also using our computers and bigger screens more, and in a lot of ways that can be a better experience. So now what we're going to do is on Instagram, you're going to be able to engage with live videos on a bigger screen during this period while you're at home, and we'll keep that going afterwards too. All right, so overall, we're very focused on making sure that we can deliver for you the tools that you need to feel present with the people that you care about, even when during this period where we can't be together in person. And when it comes to delivering video presence, we're focused on building the best experiences across all of the categories that I've talked about today, across video calling, across video rooms, and across live video. And I just want to end by saying that I know that this is a challenging period for so many of us around the world. And my hope here is that the work that we're trying to do to help all of you stay connected during this period, but also to assist with the health response to COVID and to help with the economic recovery for individuals and small businesses. My hope is that we can make a difference during this time and in the months ahead. I do think it's going to be a long road ahead, but I am optimistic that we can adapt, that we can do the right things, and that we're going to get through this together. So thank you for tuning in. I hope all of you continue to stay healthy and safe and grounded during this period. And I look forward to seeing all of you again soon.
Hey everyone, and